Now, if we break this up, the square root of 25 times the square root of 2, you're going to see that we're going to, get into a little situation here where it's not perfect, because 2 is not a perfect square. But that's okay. So the square root of 25 is 5, and then the square root of 2 is not, it's not a perfect, 2 is not a perfect square. So we're going to get into a situation where, if we find the square root of 2, like let's say we find it on our calculator. So square root of 2, we're going to get a really, really funky decimal. So what we're going to do is we're just going to leave it at the square root of 2. So 5, we're just going to bring down times the square root of 2. So then that's our answer. Okay? Okay, let's do another one that's similar to that. Okay. So like 2 times the square root of 80. Okay, we're just going to leave that 2 there. Okay, actually I'm just going to bring that down. But then 80. Okay, so let's think. Okay, so two numbers or 2 factors where at least one of them is a perfect square. Okay, so in this case we can use 16. Okay, 16 times 5 equals 80. Now remember, what we're going to do is we're going to break this apart. So I'm going to bring down the 2, and we're going to break this apart, so this becomes this times the square root of 16 times the square root of 5. Okay? So now, 2 times the square root of 16, which is 4, okay, times the square root of 5. Now remember, 5 is not a perfect square, so we're just going to bring that down. Okay, now I'm going to continue this over here. 2 times 4 equals 8. Okay, and remember, so we just have to bring this down, or I guess in this case we're bringing it over to the side. Okay, so now we have 8 times the square root of 5, so that's what we're left with, and that's our answer. Okay, alright, let's try another one. So like the square root of 704. Okay, so let's find at least one factor should be a perfect square, and in this case we do have one. 64. We can multiply 64 times 11. So we'll do 64 times 11. We're going to break it apart. Okay, so square root of 64 times the square root of 11. Okay, and the square root of 64 is 8. And then 11 is not a perfect square, so we're